The station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
Straight ahead here on DC News Now at 10, new details about a teen shot and killed in the Brooklyn neighborhood, what we know about that shooter. Plus, after 15 rounds of voting and tense moments, we now have a House Speaker. A look at what happens next. And a look at how a sorority is helping young people in Prince George's County as they try to reduce crime among juveniles. Good evening. Thank you for joining us for DC News Now at 10. I'm Annalisa Gale. We have a winter weather advisory heading our way. Here's meteorologist Scott Sumner now. Hey, Scott.
Hello. Yes, for some of us that are under a winter weather advisory, we'll get to that in just a moment. But most of us will see a chilly rain. But needless to say, a weak storm system is moving on in, and we'll break it down for you. Starting off with what's currently happening outside right now. So you see plenty of clouds up in Pennsylvania. Some of those clouds have come across the mountains into Maryland during the course of the afternoon and into the evening hours. But we are seeing breaks in that cloud coverage right now, and that does include Hagerstown and a little bit out towards Cumberland and Kaiser's Way. But tonight, that's not a big deal. We'll have a mostly clear to clear sky, and we'll have a chilly evening, very typical for January. But as we go into tomorrow afternoon and then late tomorrow afternoon into early evening hours, well, the moisture will be here, and initially it will be in the forms of rain, but then it'll turn over to more of a freezing rain and a little bit of light snow across the area. So we'll talk more about that at full length coming up in my full weather in just a few minutes. Stick around.
All right, things got breaking tonight in the Navy Yard neighborhood. A homicide investigation is underway at the corner of M Street and Half Street in Southeast DC. We're told a man was found dead following a shooting there. It was reported just before 8 p.m. Our Dave Laval is on the way to the scene. So far, no suspect information has been provided. Also new tonight, police are investigating a deadly shooting in the Brookland neighborhood, and we now know the name of the 13-year-old boy shot to death by a homeowner, according to police. Our Dave Laval has the very latest.
Just before 4 o'clock Saturday morning, police say a homeowner spotted a teen who he believed broke into cars. Moments later, police told us the unidentified man fired several shots at the teen along Quincy Street near Michigan Avenue in the Brooklyn neighborhood and killed him. Police identified the boy as 13-year-old Karan Blake. The shooting shocked neighbors, including Ethan Rooney.
It's awful. It sucks to hear, and it's just something I think this neighborhood's really struggling with, and I don't know what the answer is.
The man had his gun registered, and he, according to police, administered CPR to Blake when they arrived. They're still trying to determine if any charges will be filed against him.
I wish we had a way to let kids be kids and not have to worry about this stuff.
Police told us the homeowner is cooperating with investigators. In Northeast, Dave Laval, DC News Now.
And today's shooting happened 4 days after someone shot and killed 17-year-old Martez Tony at the Congress Heights Metro Station. Police believe the gunman targeted Tony, a 14-year-old boy who was also shot and continues to recover from his injuries. Today's shooting is now the 5th homicide of the year in the district. And developing now, an elementary school teacher continues to recover after being shot by a 6-year-old boy in Newport News, Virginia, according to police. It happened Friday afternoon at Rich Neck Elementary School. The unidentified teacher, now in the hospital, is in serious but stable condition. Police are now trying to figure out how that student managed to get a gun in the first place. The school has already canceled classes on Monday and Tuesday. Meanwhile, in Maryland, a 12-year-old will not face charges for bringing a gun to school in Anne Arundel County. It happened on Thursday. Police say a school resource officer was alerted about the items in the boy's bag, but the police department says no charges can be filed against him because of his age. Well, tonight, a sorority in Prince George's County is hosting a youth leadership institute to teach kids important life skills. This comes as the county reports an increase in crime among young people in 2022. Our Yamari Sisse is talking to participants and parents tonight.
Yes, several kids across Prince George's County came here at the South Bowie Library to learn social and leadership skills that they can apply to their life in the long run. Now, members of Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority tell me that they want to influence these kids in a positive way during the most pivotal stages of their life. 12-year-old Masara Magasuba led Saturday's Youth Leadership Institute, hosted by members of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. The theme for Saturday's discussion, believing in yourself.
Getting pushed out your comfort zone can help you a lot, and so I will be maybe talking more in front of people to help me lose my fear.
The program is part of the sorority's Empower Our Families initiative.
Helps them to bring out some of the soft skills that they can gain by learning how to communicate, really how to build teamwork, and be able to present themselves and be able to help other youth in the future generations.
This week, a spokesperson from the county executive's office told DC News Now that they continue to focus on combating crime among juveniles. They say in 2022, more juveniles were arrested for carjackings than adults, and they remain deeply concerned. Joy Hollis says programs like this are one way to help young people and fight back.
It's an opportunity for members of the community to rally around our youth. If we have them involved in programs and positive programs, I think it's going to be a benefit. It has to be parents that are invested, that are willing to give their time. It has to be schools, not just during the school hours, but coming into the community on the weekends and after school. It truly does take a village, and so we must be that village.
Many kids like 11-year-old Cameron Coleman are already seeing an impact.
Monthly thing will kind of help me and other students to be better leaders in the upcoming like school grades and stuff like that, especially with me going into middle school next year. I feel like that'll really help me, I guess, fit into my school.
They're starting at a pivotal age, not just developmentally, but prior to the middle school years. So friendship and a number of other skills that this program will be able to offer for them.
Reporting in Prince George's County, I'm Yamari Sase, DC News Now.
The Honorable Kevin McCarthy of the state of California, having received a majority of the votes cast, is duly elected Speaker of the House of Representatives.
New today, after 4 days and 15 rounds of voting, Kevin McCarthy is now the Speaker of the House of Representatives. Washington correspondent Jesse Chenier is on the Hill now with a look at the tense moments that led to this decision.
McCarthy has now achieved his long sought-after goal of becoming Speaker, but a group of fellow Republicans made him work hard for it. After days of repeatedly losing vote after vote, Kevin McCarthy will officially hold the House Speaker's gavel.
You know, my father always told me, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. And now we need to finish strong for the American people.
McCarthy opponents like South Carolina's Ralph Norman flipped their votes.
You think we would be here had we not felt confident in what was going forward?
Pennsylvania's Scott Perry said McCarthy agreed to their demands for changing House rules to give rank-and-file members more power.
We have the framework of an agreement that allows us to keep moving forward in good faith to that end so that this place works for the American people.
But Florida's Matt Gaetz made it clear he would never accept a Speaker McCarthy.
We do not trust Mr. McCarthy with power.
The majority of Republicans, including Alabama's Dale Strong, supported McCarthy from the beginning.
The last thing we need is someone, the Speaker, that doesn't want to be the Speaker.
And the House can now get to work, swearing in new members, organizing committees, and taking up legislation. In Washington, I'm Jesse Tenor.
Happening tomorrow, President Joe Biden is scheduled to visit El Paso to announce changes to a program that could change the immigration process. Shelby Capp from our sister station in Texas has a look at what to expect.
President Joe Biden announcing the expansion of a program to accept 30,000 migrants per month from Venezuela, Cuba, Nicaragua, and Haiti before coming to El Paso this weekend.
My message is this. If you're trying to leave Cuba, Nicaragua, or Haiti, or have agreed to begin a journey to America, do not just show up at the border. Stay where you are and apply legally from there. Starting today, if you don't apply through the legal process, you will not be eligible for this new parole program.
The president coming to El Paso on Sunday, but his visit comes at a time when El Paso is seeing fewer numbers after weeks of thousands of migrants at our border. El Paso County Judge Ricardo Samaniego calling the president's visit overdue.
So we're very excited that he's here. I think it's long overdue. I'll be very honest. I was hoping he'd come a little earlier because we've had some incredible situations. It's diminished a little bit. The numbers are down quite a bit. So it's not going to be as dramatic as it was. 3 weeks ago we almost had 5,400 in a detention. Now we have maybe less than 1,500.
But hoping the president will see the need for more funding.
And what we don't need is someone to tell us how to do it, but to provide us the resources.
It's good that the president is coming to El Paso. It is overdue.
Political expert Dr. Richard Pineda commenting on the timing of the president's visit, as we will see a new legislative cycle in the U.S. Congress, and Democrats will not have control of the House, saying immigration is likely to be a big issue.
I think to a certain extent, the White House and President Biden are trying to get ahead of that by not only coming to the border to sort of get the on-the-ground report, but also to signal that the federal government is in fact focused on trying to ameliorate the situation that's happening here.
President Biden speaking about the need for immigration reform.
But instead of safe and orderly process at the border, we have a patchwork system that simply doesn't work as it should.
Shelby Kapp, KTSM 9 News.